Crystal, who are you?
Who am I? First of all, thank you for having me on your podcast. It's an honor to be asked to be on this podcast. So I'm very excited. Do you call it a podcast or what do you like calling your own show?
I like to call it my own show, but like I would say like interview series.
Your interview series. Alrighty. So I'm Crystal Frangos. I live here in Tucson, Arizona with my husband, Joseph, and my little 5-year-old Maddie, who thank God is not here right now. Otherwise, this would be really hard to do. We've been in real estate since since the beginning of 2019. So I would say 2 years now. And we have gone through lots of ups and downs, but for the most part, it's been a very good experience.
Awesome. Yeah. So why real estate? Why would you choose real estate in 2019 instead of like acting or modeling?
Well, to tell you the truth, my true love is baking. So if I could have picked, which I still can, you can do both. You don't need to really isolate your life to only one thing. But the reason why I chose real estate, and then I dragged my husband into it. But I've been around real estate pretty much my whole life. My grandparents, who were huge caregivers to my brother and I when we were younger, we basically grew up in Nogales, Mexico, which is the border town that neighbors Nogales, Arizona. So they're twin cities. And my grandparents owned commercial real estate. Now my mom does, and we share the ownership of those properties. So we have commercial and we have residential. So as a kid, my grandma used to have me type up literally on a typewriter, which I thought was so cool. Typewriter, we would do the contracts for her. And once we got older, we started fixing them on the computer. And my dad has residential real estate here in the States. So I've been kind of, I guess, around it all my life. So I've always been interested in flipping and just kind of that aspect of real estate. And once Joseph got out of the military, I said, you know what, like, let's do it. Like, let's just try.
I love that. I think always the first step is to just go out there and try, even if you take like imperfect actions and everything. It's always good if you try.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What would you say is your favorite thing about real estate ever since you've been in this business for like almost your entire life? Basically, you've been like surrounded by it. What would you say is like, the most likable part about real estate for you?
Well, obviously the financial return that you can get on real estate is amazing, but kind of inadvertently what real estate actually me doing real estate, not being around it, but actually doing it has broadened my view on a lot of entrepreneurial aspects of life. I just didn't know that we were honestly, as individuals, capable of doing so much. I was always, I went to college, I was a therapist for a while, and it was a very boxed in way of life, which I would say the majority of the world is kind of part of. And I thought that was it. I didn't know that there was more, that you could do more. So I love real estate, what it can do for anybody financially, but I love more the entrepreneurial spirit of it, which has created almost like another life in me, basically.
I love how you said that, because I remember in my interview with your husband, Joseph, we were talking about again how entrepreneurship has like affected both of our lives, and I said that how becoming an entrepreneur and just learning more about real estate has impacted me. It's like opened the world up to me. Like it opened up the shutters basically. So I love how you pointed that out, because I was like, oh my God, I don't have to follow this one-way street from school to college to job to retirement. I can, like, this world is so big and so full of opportunities. I can do anything.
It's true, you really can. And that's definitely something that we try to instill in Maddie because even as kids, if you really pay attention, your kids are natural born entrepreneurs. If you really listen to the little things that they say. And I think them watching us and learning from us is the best gift that we can give them because I'm not saying that a college degree is bad. I'm not saying following that journey is bad, but it's definitely not the successful life path that it was in the past. I mean, and I'm not degrading anybody that has a college degree because I have one. My
Mhm.
brother and mother have PhDs, but um, at least for bachelor's degree, anybody can get them nowadays. It really
Yeah.
doesn't put you ahead of the pack. It doesn't really make you stand out. I think what make you stand out now is your life experience, your job experience. So, yeah, you as a young girl, like you have the whole world ahead of you and you can conquer it. And I hope that by watching us, watching your dad, and watching all the things that we all do collectively, like the sky's the limit for you.
Yeah, for all of us actually. I definitely
Mhm.
believe in that. How has being part of a minority and also being a woman impacted your entrepreneurial journey?
Well, I can say it's been positive because sometimes there's a lot more programs available to minorities that teach us how to overcome that, which it's nothing to overcome. I don't think being a minority is something negative per se.
Mhm.
I love my Mexican heritage and I'm very proud of it. So um, I just conduct myself in a way that shows that I'm competent and I know what I'm doing. And I think being a female is being bad is a badass thing to do because there aren't that many females in real estate. When I'm interested in going into developments, and the percentage of women actually at the top in real estate for developing is like, I think less than maybe 2%. It's like
Oh
tiny.
wow.
It's tiny, tiny, tiny. So it's still very much a world that's ran by men. But I think that we are slowly um, making our way up there. So it's very exciting, and I'm excited to be a female in this space.
I totally agree. In this like day and age, we've seen so many like movements come out and so many um females, minorities, um everyone who used to be the underdogs,
Mhm.
we've all seen like a huge impact from all of them. And it's so cool to see that and be alive at this time and just being able to experience and be a part of this whole movement.
Yeah, and I hope that it's just gaining more speed and more power. And by the time that you're an adult, a young adult, that it's gonna be even more different, and there's gonna be way more opportunities open to you, and that the equality in pay is that it's equal, hopefully by then.
Yeah.
Um, so it is an exciting time for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's really what I mentioned this before, but that's really what I'm trying to make Rickshaw Republic all about. And I want to create, like I said, a community where people can feel safe and people can feel that they can do anything. So they can have like
Mhm.
the support they need. Because I know that a lot of parents aren't actually like supportive of entrepreneurship. I know you and me, we grew up around um, parents who very much invested into our lives as entrepreneurs, but I've noticed that a lot of other people haven't had the same experiences. I've talked to like my friends friends, um and they've all had this like sort of doubt about real estate and had this the mindset of still being in the rat race and how it's real estate and entrepreneurship just in general is very, like, not to say it's not risky, but they see it as sort of like you're dangling off a cliff. Like it's not,
Mhm.
yeah.
And you are sometimes as an entrepreneur hanging off the cliff, just hanging by a strand of hair.
Mhm.
But I think that is what makes us the, I guess, unmovable type of force of people, because we have put ourselves through the ringer. We have put ourselves and our families sometimes in very difficult situations. But I think the amount of perseverance and, I guess, personal, like, we don't doubt ourselves. Like, I think that makes us really different from other people. It takes a lot to be a business owner, not, because the weight of the world truly weighs on you. And I don't blame parents for, at least, our parents' generation. So my dad is a baby boomer. He was born in 1949. So he is in his 70s. And that was the era that they grew up in, where it's you work, 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 and then you work, and then you retire, and you probably go back to work. And there is a sense of dignity and respect in that as well. But I think that if you don't have to, if you are resourceful, and we are in an age where you can make money from anywhere in the world with a phone and internet
Mhm.
access, why not? I truly believe that you were not intended to be born to work and pay bills and then die. So it's it is a it's unfortunate that a lot of parents don't really support entrepreneurship early on. And I get it. They're scared that it can ruin your life. It really can, if you don't play your cards right. um, but oh my gosh, I mean, you can see everyone who's an entrepreneur who didn't go to college, and they just look at Jeff Bezos. I mean, he is
Mhm.
the richest man in the universe, pretty much, and he does not have a college degree, I believe. I'm not sure, but I mean, it is what it is. It's up to you, Audrey, to be like the person that they look up to, so they can say, well, if she did it, then I can do it.
Yeah, that's really what I want to become for little girls looking at a screen like a YouTube video, coming upon my video and being like, "Oh my god, she's like really young and she's like doing this. Like this is really cool." Like I've noticed, well, for me for me personally, whenever my mom would show me like kids on America's Got Talent like singing and being like super talented, I
Yeah.
I always felt like jealous, but I don't want people to think of me like that. I want them to
Yeah.
be inspired and most of all just not just look up to be me, but want to like interact with me. I want them to want to be next to me on my walk towards success so that we can build each other up and we can create this huge community. And I believe that it's going to blow up.
Yeah, I believe that that is definitely in the stars for you. I think the number one thing to always remember is humility, and to never be the smartest person in the room.
Mhm.
There's always room to learn and grow. And I think that young ladies are definitely going to look up to you, and young boys too. Doesn't matter. Um, they're going to look up to you, and as long as you can continue to connect with your generation, it'll happen. And we're in that age where all you have to do is put up a TikTok, and it blows up.
Yeah. What's like a life lesson or like a quote that has gotten you through those tough moments where you like, I don't want to work or this is too hard, I just want to quit. Um, everyone's telling me to just stop, I should just stop. What's that one?
I actually posted it. Let me look at my archive here, because it actually really resonated with me. Let me find it. It was super recently too. It says, it's one of the quotes that I really like. And it says, only put off until tomorrow what you are willing to die having left undone. And that is by Pablo Picasso. So essentially, as I think just a species in general, the human species, we like to put off everything because we truly believe deep down in our soul that there will always be a tomorrow. And that's not always promised, you know? So I think even for me, this is something I remind myself every day. There are things that have to be done, you know, regardless if there is a tomorrow or not. But there are so many things that I definitely don't want to die having left undone. And one of those for me in particular, deep down in my soul, is traveling and honestly kind of being a nomad of some sorts. I don't really like being tied down to one place. So that was something I enjoyed when Joseph was in the military. There were a lot of new places that we got to see. So we are planning to be pretty much official expats by 2023, starting with Mexico. So we are doing everything in our power to automate our business. So we are definitely able to just pack up and leave and travel. Obviously travel and work we're still going to be working, but it'll be from, you know, beautiful, gorgeous, amazing places. So
That's an amazing dream. Oh my gosh. I love that.
yeah.
Yeah. For me, my favorite quote that gets me through all of that is I believe it was Eleanor Roosevelt that said it. Do one thing every day that scares you. Um, for me, it's important because as you see, I have the fearless, I don't know if you can see it, the fearless
There you go.
investor
Mhm.
shirt. Yeah. Because as a kid, I was a very scared kid, not just like scared of the dark or anything. I was a big overthinker, especially when it came to the future. Um, like I told a lot of the people that I did interviews with in the past, I literally like counted not the days, the months and the years until I moved out because that's how scared I was. Because
Mhm.
I was an intelligent kid in like academics, but I wasn't like talented or athletic like some of my friends were. And although I was like academically smart, my friends were way smarter. So I felt like I would always be in this in between, and I would like die without anyone remembering me, and I would like just go back to the dirt and dust. So it's really cool to see how over time I've found, and over COVID I found my passion. And also I'm not sure if this is like where I'm just gonna stop, but um what I was put on this earth for. So
And I'll dare to say, to rock your mind, Audrey, we will all become one with Earth someday. That's just part of life, and it's actually something to be not so much scared of, but it's an honor to go back into the earth and fuel the earth for other life. That's sometimes the way that I see it. And I love that quote from, I believe it is from Eleanor Roosevelt. And it's true. We should always do something that scares us. And this other quote that's always mentioned out there is, the cemetery is full of regrets. And I definitely don't want to be in a cemetery somewhere, which I'm really weird. I don't want to be buried in the cemetery. I don't want to be full of regrets. I think that is such a sad, wasted life. We truly only have one life, you know, as far as we all know. So we should do our best to come out of our comfort zone. And, you know, I think that, and I think that's part of all of us growing up. It's part of our nature to compare ourselves to other people. But from experience, it gets harder when you're an adult, especially when you're surrounded by social media. I would say that that is something we all need to work on really, really hard, because it can crush our dreams in a lot of ways when all we do is compare. I think it's good to compare sometimes, to say, oh, well, they're doing that really good. I'm going to hit them up and say, hey, whatever I can do to provide you value, like I'm hitting this, this wall in my business, help me out. I'll help you. But I think the other quote that says comparison is the thief of joy is 100% true. And I think that you are amazing and you're a go-getter and you're gonna ignite the world in many different ways. even if you don't play the violin or play soccer or whatever, that doesn't matter. I think you were destined for something and you'll find it if you haven't already. I think you
Thank
have.
you.
Of course.
How have you had any experiences getting out of the comfort zone?
All the time. My natural personality is to basically shut down when things get really hard. I rather sometimes just sit in bed and just be in the dark and forget about everything that's going on. So it is not part of my nature to get up and keep going every day and figure it out and face those issues head on. And for me, that really started, it got a little, that concept got a little bit more real once I started going back to the gym, because also going to the gym is not part of my natural personality. But I forced myself to go at least 4 times a week. So that builds some sort of discipline in me and it helped me in other aspects of my life. But yeah, I mean, comfort zones, they're meant to be broken for sure.
I love that. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna put that in a quote and I'm gonna like post it on on my Instagram.
Because it's true. We will find comfort when we're dead. Like we're gonna get that comfort someday, but we shouldn't be, like I'm reading this book by a mystic from India. His name is Sadhguru, and he has really changed the way I think of a lot of things. And he says that in our society, we try to push this kind of a fake way of meditating where we want to empty our mind and be, just completely blank in all of this. And he says, well, that's not really possible. And in order to reach states like that, you're basically dead. He's like, you're wishing for something that's not even here yet. He's like, it's best to confront what's going on with your life and take it on as it is. That's all it is. Just take it on as it is. And I think that's so true. I recommend that book to you.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. DM
it's called Karma.
Book. Karma?
I will. It's called Karma by Sadhguru. So
I'm gonna check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
That's so inspirational. Oh my gosh. Just hearing that. Wow. So you got your network is your net worth in the color, what is it, in burgundy?
Burgundy, my favorite color in the world.
Yes. Why did you choose that shirt?
Because it's true. I know that it's such a overused quote that you are the sum of your 5 friends, but it's so true. And coming from a background in psychology, it's so true. You will undoubtedly become the people that you hang out with. If you want to level up, you have to find people that are constantly also trying to level up. So if you want to be a millionaire someday, I'm sorry, you can't hang out with someone with everyone who works, and I am not dissing anyone who makes minimum wage. I'm just saying their goals are different from yours. So you have to be with a network who is also searching for that. And I think real estate in particular has a really good network. You can really, all of our friends are in real estate. All of our true best friends are in real estate. And I don't know where we would be mentally without them. They pick us up when we're down. We pick them up when they're down. And I truly, 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 truly believe what this shirt says. Your network is, your network is your net worth. It is so true. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. I love how you brought up connections in there. And I think that's a really essential part in real estate. And just really in any passion, because if you do have a passion, there's definitely, out of the 7 billion people of the world, there's definitely someone who also relates to you. And when you find that passion, you can find these communities that you can join. And I think that's really the beautiful thing about life, is that there's always people you can identify yourself with and you can relate to. Yeah,
I agree. And I think something to keep in mind is that there will always be someone who's better at you. Like there's always someone who is better at something than you are.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's not a reason to doubt yourself. It's not a reason to be upset. It's more of a reason to try and be in their network because they obviously learned that from somebody. So, and there was a quote I heard the other day on a real estate podcast that said, no one is better than you. They just started before you. So that is a really good thing to keep in mind too, because we always have the finish line in mind, but really there really is no finish line to begin with. But that's what we do in our mind, and then we create all these obstacles, all these little benchmarks. That's like, oh my God, I need to do all of these. I need to hit all of these, and that should not be that should not be the goal. The goal is small measurable goals to eventually get to that finish line, but also working with those people who have been there already because they know it. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why paid mentorships and those kinds of things with the right people, of course, the right vetted people are so important because you are skipping a lot of those pitfalls that those mentors have already stumbled in. So one day when you're old enough to take a mentorship, or even your friends, like they're not a waste of money. I mean, you really have to put into work what they suggest, but again, your network is your network. So
Mm-hmm. I love your energy and your just in general vibe. What is like one word that you would say describes you as a person?
probably eccentric. um, I'm a little eccentric. Have you ever watched The Office?
Yes.
So I love The Office. I think that I don't know, weirdly enough, I really love Dwight. Sometimes I feel like I resonate with Dwight a lot. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm just kind of eccentric. Like if you ask me the things that I like 1950s stuff. If I could, not if I could, I will. I would love to dress in 1950s clothes every day. I love to bake. I love vintage stuff. So if I could mold that somehow into my real estate life, that'd be amazing.
That's so cool. Oh my God. I find that each person I interview, there's always something so unique about everyone and their different personalities. And I love just that's the reason I love real estate. I love just talking to all these new people that I haven't talked to and just connecting in various forms, whether it be with like a TV show or with like real estate or whether it be like a bracelet business. I love just talking to people. And that's coming
You're
from like
right.
a quiet child. I was a quiet child.
It's always the quiet ones you have to be scared of.
Oh my God. Sorry, that's like a joke between me and my friend. Well, thank you so much for being on the call with me. It's such an honor to be able to speak to you. Is there
Thank
any
you.
way is there any social media or like email that people can reach you at?
Yeah, they can reach out to me on my Instagram and let me sure I give you the right handle, which I'm sure I will. It's just my name, Crystal with a K _ Frangos. And you can find me there. You can send me a DM. I'm very nice. Today is my dog's 12th birthday. So I'm going to go, I guess, get her a steak. She deserves it. And I'm so happy that you invited me onto your interview series. And I can't wait to see where you go.
Thank you. Happy birthday to your dog, by the way. And one last question. What piece of advice would you give someone like me, a 14-year-old, or like your past self?
Well, I think it would resonate with you too, is to honestly just do you and don't care. I know hopefully mom and dad are not there, but don't always care what your parents say or believe or their opinion, because once again, they are of a different generation. And that's something that I have had to learn as well. Honestly, just do you, do not care at all, not even a grain of rice care what other people believe about you.
I agree with that so much. Thank you so much for being on here, Crystal. I hope you have a
Oh,
great day.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.